Today we're going to try to make sense of Meta's financials for Q3 2024.
Yeah, it's a lot of data.
Oh yeah, we've got earnings reports, presentations, even called transcripts.
Really gives you the whole picture.
Yeah, we're talking the whole 9 yards here, trying to see how this digital giant makes his money.
That's right. We're going to cut through the noise, and highlight what really matters.
Exactly like how these numbers actually translate into Meta's strategy.
Yeah, and what it all means looking forward.
Okay, so let's start big picture here.
Sure.
Meta pulled in a massive $40.59 billion in revenue.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a 19% jump from last year.
Huge.
And their net income, a cool $15.69 billion.
That's a 35% increase.
Yeah, so you're the financial whiz here. What's driving this kind of growth?
Well, I think a big part of the success comes from what Meta's always been known for.
Okay.
Their family of apps.
Right.
We're talking Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger.
Apps everyone uses every day.
Exactly. And those apps brought in $40.32 billion this quarter.
So that's essentially all of Meta's revenue.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow, so the family of apps is still the golden goose, huh?
It seems that way.
But I'm curious about something.
Yeah.
Almost all of that revenue, like $39.89 billion to be exact, it comes from advertising.
Right.
So how are they getting so much ad revenue out of these apps? Are we just drowning in ads everywhere?
That's where Meta's deep understanding of their users comes in.
Okay.
And their mastery of targeted advertising.
Right.
They're using all this data, and algorithms to figure out exactly who to show.
Blasting ads everywhere.
No, they're being strategic.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Makes those ads way more valuable to advertisers, too.
Yeah. I know I've clicked on a few targeted ads myself.
Of course.
What else can you tell me about the family of apps segment?
Well, their earnings call transcript shows that they're laser focused on how to get the most out of those ad dollars without driving users away.
Right. You don't want to scare away your audience.
Exactly. It's a real balancing act.
Okay, so let's get into some specifics.
Sure.
Ad impressions across the family of apps were up 7% year over year.
More eyeballs on ads.
Exactly. But the average price per ad also went up by 11%. Why are advertisers willing to pay more for Meta's ads?
It's probably a few things, right? AI-powered targeting definitely plays a role. But there's also just the massive scale of Meta's reach.
Right. They have billions of users.
Exactly. So their platform is incredibly attractive to advertisers.
And we can't forget about user engagement.
Right. People spend a lot of time on these apps.
Yeah, that means more chances for ads to make an impact.
Definitely.
So Meta has the users, the engagement, and the AI targeting.
It's a powerful combination.
Absolutely. But let's not forget about Meta's other ventures. The more futuristic stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like the metaverse.
Right. Reality Labs?
Yeah, Reality Labs. This is their big bet on the future of virtual and augmented reality.
For sure.
But their Q3 numbers tell a different story. Reality Labs only brought in $270 million.
Okay.
That's a tiny fraction of their total revenue.
Not exactly a cash cow.
No, it sounds more like a money pit.
Yeah.
They posted a loss of $4.43 billion.
Billion with a B.
That's right. Billion with a B. So is this a sign of trouble, or is it just, the cost of innovation?
That's a question even Meta is trying to figure out.
Right.
Their earnings call transcripts suggest they see it as a long-term investment.
Okay.
They're betting that the metaverse will be everywhere one day, like smartphones are now.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a risky and expensive gamble.
So they're playing the long game here.
They are?
Hoping that one day, those virtual reality headsets will be flying off the shelves.
That's the hope.
But while they're building this metaverse, they're also spending a lot on traditional infrastructure.
Yeah.
They spent $9.2 billion in capital expenditures this quarter.
Wow.
Mostly on things like servers, data centers, networks.
The backbone of their operations.
Exactly. And they're saying they might spend even more in 2025. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which suggests they're getting ready for a future where their operations need even more data.
Which probably means more AI.
Exactly.
Huh.
So that brings us to the AI factor.
Okay.
We know Meta is betting big on AI.
Right.
They're putting it into everything.
From ad targeting to content recommendations.
Yeah, but how are they actually turning AI into money?
Well, AI is at the heart of their advertising platform.
Which is their biggest revenue generator.
Exactly. AI helps them target ads better, leading to higher ad prices and more revenue.
Okay.
But it's not just ads. They're using AI to make the user experience better. Recommend content and even moderate content.
Right.
All of that keeps users engaged.
Which brings in more advertisers.
Exactly. It's a cycle.
Okay, that makes sense. But one thing I don't get is their decision to open source Llama.
Their AI model.
Yeah, why give away their secret sauce? Isn't that risky?
Well, on the surface, it might seem counterintuitive.
It does.
But Meta sees it as strategic.
Okay.
By making Llama free, they're attracting developers and researchers all over the world.
And they're all working on Llama.
Exactly. It's like crowdsourcing AI innovation on a massive scale.
So instead of keeping it to themselves, they're tapping into this global AI community.
Yeah, pretty clever. Right.
Yeah. But how does that make Meta money?
Well, that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
As Llama gets more popular, it becomes an industry standard,
Right.
which means hardware manufacturers start optimizing their chips for Llama, which could save Meta money on their own infrastructure.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah, Meta gets a better AI model, and the entire AI ecosystem gets a boost.
But beyond the financial benefits, I feel like there's a bigger picture here.
Oh, for sure.
It shows that Meta is serious about shaping the future of AI.
Right, they're not just building products, they're building a platform and ecosystem.
And this open approach means more collaboration.
More innovation.
And it makes Meta a leader in the AI space.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've seen how Meta's family of apps is still their main moneymaker.
Yeah.
How they're strategically getting more ad revenue out of those apps. And how their AI investments are driving both profit and innovation.
Yeah.
But what about Reality Labs and the metaverse? Is that just a pipe dream, or could it actually be a major revenue driver in the future?
That is big bet on the future.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm still not sure about it.
Yeah.
It seems like such a gamble, especially since they lost billions on it this quarter.
It's definitely risky, no doubt. But Meta isn't just, throwing money away.
Right.
They're building hardware, software, entire ecosystems for a future they believe in.
Okay, I see that they have this vision. But what about the competition?
Right.
TikTok is still huge, especially with younger users. And you can't forget about Snapchat. Even Twitter or X. Now they're all fighting for the same users and advertising dollars.
Yeah, the competition is fierce, and it's only going to get tougher as AI gets more integrated into these platforms.
And speaking of AI,
yeah,
we can't forget about the regulatory challenges Meta's facing.
Absolutely.
Governments everywhere are cracking down on big tech.
Right, and Meta's often a target.
Yeah, data privacy, antitrust concerns, content moderation. These are all big issues that could really affect their bottom line.
Definitely. The regulations are always changing, and Meta has to walk a fine line.
Right.
They need to follow the rules, but also protect their business.
Yeah, one wrong move and they could be hit with huge fines or restrictions on what they can do.
Exactly. It's a tricky situation.
It's like they're walking through a minefield while trying to innovate and stay ahead of the competition.
That's a lot to handle.
It is. So what can we learn from their Q3 financials? What clues do they give us about their strategy and their future?
Well, one good sign is that they're still investing in growth. Even with the losses in Reality Labs, they're putting money into research and development, especially in AI.
So they're not just trying to hold on to what they have?
No, they want to be the leaders of the next wave of technology.
It's like they're saying, yeah, we're making billions now, but we're not stopping there.
Great. They want to define the future of the internet.
Exactly. But let's be realistic here.
Okay.
They're a business. Their goal is to make money. So how do these investments, especially in AI and the metaverse, actually turn into profits?
That's the million-dollar question, and honestly, we don't have all the answers yet.
Right.
But we can think about some possibilities.
Okay.
Like, what if AI-powered advertising becomes even more effective?
Yeah.
They could see a huge jump in ad revenue.
And what about the metaverse?
If it takes off the way they think it will, it could create entirely new ways for them to make money.
Like what?
Think about virtual goods and services, immersive entertainment experiences. The possibilities are endless.
So it's a waiting game, but with potentially massive rewards.
Right.
But I still wonder about their decision to open source Llama.
Yeah.
It's a great way to encourage innovation and build a community. But how does that help Meta's bottom line?
Well, it's a smart strategy, and it benefits them in a few ways.
Like what?
First, by making Llama the industry standard, they could save money themselves.
Okay. Oh.
If hardware makers are optimizing their chips for Llama, then Meta doesn't have to spend as much on their own hardware.
Makes sense.
Second, it helps them attract the best AI engineers.
Right. Everyone wants to work on the most exciting projects.
Exactly. And by open sourcing, Llama Meta becomes a leader in the field.
So it's not just about the money.
No.
It's about building a reputation, attracting talent, and shaping the future of AI.
It's a long-term strategy, but it could pay off big time.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential upsides of their investments, but we can't forget about the risks.
Of course.
The metaverse could fail. Regulations could hurt their growth competition, could take away their market share.
Oh, true.
What are the biggest threats they're facing right now?
Well, one concern is how much money they're putting into reality labs.
Oh,
If the metaverse doesn't become what they expect, those losses could be a big problem.
yeah.
They also have to deal with all these changing regulations, which could limit how they collect data, how they target ads, even how they operate in certain countries.
And then there's the whole issue of user trust.
Right.
Meta's been involved in some scandals about data privacy and content moderation.
Yeah.
How much could that affect their financials?
It's a big deal. User trust is crucial for any social media platform.
Right.
If Meta loses that trust, it could hurt their entire business.
In what way?
Users might not want to share their data anymore. Advertisers might not want to be associated with the platform, and regulators might create even stricter rules.
So their financial success is tied to their reputation and how the public sees them.
Exactly. It's all connected.
It's complicated with a lot of moving parts.
It is. And that's what makes looking at their financials so interesting. We're not just looking at numbers, we're trying to understand the forces that are shaping one of the most powerful companies in the world.
Well said. So we've covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
From Meta's amazing revenue growth to their risky bets on AI and the metaverse.
It's been a wild ride.
But the big question's still out there. Can Meta keep this up and overcome the challenges ahead? Yeah, we've seen some big numbers, some risky moves, and a lot of ambition.
It's been a journey.
But now we have to answer the big question. Can Meta keep this financial success going? Can they handle all the challenges ahead?
It's tough to say for sure, but I think we can get some clues from their financials and their strategies.
Okay, so let's put on our detective hats one last time.
All right.
What can we find in their numbers, their statements, their actions? What are the most important things you've noticed?
Well, first off, Meta is still a financial powerhouse.
Right.
Their family of apps, especially Facebook and Instagram, they just keep making tons of money.
Yeah, those apps are still their main source of income.
Exactly. They know how to do targeted advertising really well, and they have so many users that gives them a big advantage.
But they're not just sitting back and counting their money. They're looking ahead, putting billions into AI and the metaverse.
Right. They know that things are always changing online, and they're not afraid to make big bets on what they think will be the next big thing.
Yeah, that's clear from their capital expenditures, their investments in AI, and their experiments with virtual and augmented reality.
Exactly. They're thinking long term.
But as we've talked about, those bets come with risks. The metaverse could fail, regulations could slow them down, competition could take away their users. How do we weigh those risks against the possible rewards?
It's a balancing act, and it really depends on how much you believe in their strategy and their ability to pull it off.
Okay, so let's say I'm an investor who's optimistic about Meta.
Yeah.
What should I be paying attention to?
Keep an eye on their revenue growth, especially in the family of apps.
Okay.
If that keeps going up, it means their core business is healthy and their advertising platform is still working.
Makes sense.
Oh.
What about their AI stuff?
See if they're attracting top talent.
Okay.
Are they making big advances in machine learning and natural language processing? How are they using AI in their products and services?
And what about Reality Labs and the metaverse? How can I tell if those investments are working?
Look for signs that people are using their metaverse platforms, that they're engaged, and that it's making money.
Okay.
Are they getting a lot of users? Are those users spending time and money in those virtual worlds? Are developers creating cool content and experiences?
So it's about seeing those early signs of success, both in how people are using it and how much money it's making. But what about the other side? What are some warning signs that things might be going wrong?
Watch their expenses, especially in reality labs. If those losses keep growing without any clear way to make a profit, that could be a problem.
Okay.
Also, pay attention to any actions from regulators or legal challenges. Those could really affect their business.
So it's about balancing the good signs of growth and innovation with the warning signs of financial trouble or regulatory issues.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep track of.
It is. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Meta's financials, what's your final take? Are you optimistic about their future, or are you feeling cautious?
I'm cautiously optimistic. I think
Yeah.
they've been successful in the past. They've got a solid financial base, and they're willing to invest in the future. But they also have big challenges: competition, changing regulations, the uncertainty of the metaverse.
Right.
Only time will tell if they can overcome these hurdles and become a leader in the next wave of technology.
It's an interesting story that's still being written. And thanks to this deep dive, our listeners have the knowledge to follow along and make their own judgments.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe we'll be back here someday talking about how much Meta has grown and changed.
That would be something. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep digging for those hidden insights.